Good morning, everyone. It is 8 a.m. here on Maui, so I'm just getting started with my day, but I'm really excited to connect with you to be with day 3 of the Magical Business Initiation. So this week, if you haven't been a part of the last 2 days, I'm doing 5 days of Instagram Lives here. And we're talking about increasing your prices, attracting the right clients, and marketing in a way that feels good. So especially if you are a spiritual entrepreneur, you do magic, you know that you are very much in control of your reality, then and you're also a business owner. I'm really here connecting with you, really serving you as to how you can grow your business in a way that feels good. So if you have maybe plateaued in your revenue, or you have just not been making as much as you feel like you should be, this is what this whole week is about. And today is one of my favorite topics, which is pricing, or how to, the secret behind pricing your offers. And if you are a business owner, pricing has come up and has probably crossed your mind. I know with clients all the time, they come to me and with I don't know if I should price it this or that. I don't know if I should make it higher or lower. And pricing is this constant point of contention for some people. So I really want to look at that today. And especially really the topic for the day is the secret of pricing your offers so that you can produce your best work, be paid a premium, and still have hours left over for you time each week. Because if you price correctly, or it's not a right or wrong thing, but if you price in a smart way, then you actually feel well resourced, you feel valued, you feel respected by your clients and by yourself, and it actually allows you to have more time to not work during the week. And I know this is something that can come up for some people who are newer to business, or just used to hustling a lot and used to having to work 40 hours a week or 60 hours a week or even 30 hours a week, whatever that too much is for you. If you're connected with this time element with pricing and you don't price accordingly for you to actually get your time back, then you can feel really drained, especially if you're attached to working. And I come from the Midwest, so I am very familiar with the massive deconditioning process that is connected with workaholism, or connecting your productivity with your value, or the amount that you work with, or just your work in general with your worthiness. So pricing is key with all of this. So if you're an online service provider, this is especially for you, especially if you haven't been making as much as you want, whatever that looks like for you. Maybe that is $5,000 a month you want to be making, or $10,000 a month you want to be making, or more. Maybe you're really turned on by those 10K months or 100K a year, get into that 6-figure business, then this is what this is for. And especially if setting pricing gives you hives, the idea of having to set your price, or the idea of having a conversation with a client that you're raising your prices, if that fucking freaks you out, that's what we're talking about today. Okay, so let's just jump in and start with some mistakes I see people make when it comes to pricing their work. And the first one is a very standard one, which is pricing hourly. Okay, it can be a mistake that you'll make when you're starting out, because it's not scalable. Your time is very confined. You can only work so many hours a week, and then suddenly you being in your business at your computer or on the phone is directly related to how much money you're making. So pricing hourly can be a huge mistake. And we'll talk about what to do instead in a second. The second mistake I see people making is they don't account for expenses in their pricing, or vacations in their pricing. So when you have this kind of freelancer mindset, or I'm just charging by the hour mindset, you don't actually take into account the fact that you're running a business. And when you run a business, you need to be aware that there are expenses involved. You need to actually take account of non-billable hours in your pricing. And that can feel weird. You're not just supposed to be I'm only on a phone with my client for 5 hours in a month, so that's all I'm going to charge for, or I'm only doing my graphic design for them for 20 hours in a month, so that's all I'm charging for by the hour. No, you actually need to take into account non-billable hours. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. Just want to finish up with our third mistake, which is you've had the same pricing for years. This is so common. If you look back over the last 6 months or 12 months or few years and you haven't raised your pricing, huge mistake. And one thing that can come up with this is just being afraid to up your prices for current clients. And huge. Okay. So what we want to actually do instead is, instead of pricing hourly, we actually want to price by value. And if you're with me yesterday where we talked about the transformation that you should be providing, that you do provide for your clients and customers, and really pinpointing what that transformation is and selling on that, you actually, the pair with that is pricing by that too. So if you get really clear on the value that you give your clients and customers, on the transformation you take them through, that should be the guiding star when you're pricing your work and you're pricing your offers. Not on time, not on the amount of features that your offer is. That can actually hold you back, and it makes it completely non-scalable. And when you are just selling those nuts and bolts and the amount of hours, you're going to attract different clients than if you're selling the transformation. So quick, like a little reminder of what we talked about yesterday. When you're selling the transformation to clients instead of like the features of your program or the features of your service, then you're going to actually get people more bought in on staying with you longer, on paying you more, because they actually value what you're doing to a much larger extent than if they're just buying like 5 calls with you. Like if they're just buying 5 calls, they're going to see you as a commodity, and they'll be like, well, you're a coach and this other coach charges X amount of dollars per call if I divide it out. It's just not a good place to be, and you're setting yourself up to be a commodity instead of this, how can I phrase this? This magician. Yeah, we'll say that. This magician that causes and it elicits and sparks and activates a transformation in your clients. So pricing by value is that first one. The second one is realize that you are a business and not a freelancer. You're a business, not just a service provider. Even if you're a solopreneur, even if you don't have anyone working under you or a virtual assistant, or you don't have an agency model, you are a business and you have expenses. So your pricing needs to take into account the expenses that you have, and they also need to account for you actually taking time off and you only working the amount of hours a week that you want to be working, okay? So if you only want to be working 20 hours a week, then you need to find a way to price your work in a way that allows for that. Whether that is being able to hire someone to pick up the extra weight, or it is something where you just need to up your prices so that you're hitting the revenue amounts that you want to be hitting. Okay, and our third one to do instead is raising your prices at least every 12 months. Probably more like every 6 months, okay? This is something you need to do. If you look back at yourself 12 months ago, and I'm sure you've taken quite a few courses, you have read books, you have listened to podcasts, you have worked with coaches, you have whatever, or just gain fucking more experience. Your pricing needs to reflect that. So seriously, like sit right now and like look back over the last 12 months and like, how has your craft improved in the last 12 months? How have you gotten more experience? What other certifications or courses have you participated in? All of that should be reflected in your pricing. So just get in the habit of every 12 months or every 6 months, you raise your prices. That can feel uncomfortable in the beginning, but once you actually start doing that and getting in the rhythm of it, it becomes normal, and you're actually going to decondition yourself from freaking out when you raise your prices. Okay, so quick recap of what we went through. Mistakes that I see people make are pricing hourly, not accounting for expenses or vacations in their pricing, having the same pricing for years. So what you want to be doing instead is pricing by the value and transformation you give your clients, not by the hours. You want to realize that you're a business, not just a service provider or a freelancer, or however you think of yourself. So you need to account for expenses and vacations and time off, non-billable hours, all the admin tasks that you can't just charge a client. And then finally, just get in the habit of raising your prices every 6 to 12 months. Like, that is just what you do. And maybe that's something you put in your calendar every 6 months, of reflect how much I've grown over the last 6 months, how much my craft has improved over the last 6 months, what have I improved upon in the last 6 months, how do I need to change my pricing in order to reflect that, okay? So if you are craving more support around this, reminder that Monetize Your Magic is open now. It is my 8-week program for actually increasing your prices, getting to financial stability in your business. It's the exact process I used back in 2019 to triple my revenue within 3 months. I was making $3,500 a month for years as a marketer, and in the matter of a few months, by making these changes and learning these different skills, I was able to triple my prices and get to my first 10K months, and it's gone up since there. This isn't something where this is really fundamental marketing and business strategies. So it's not something that actually, it's not like, oh, learn this new Instagram strategy or get on Clubhouse, and it's not stuff that will actually expire or needs to be updated. This is fundamental stuff that you can use in the future of your business here on out. And so that closes enrollment on Friday, and really excited to have people be joining this week. And if you want to read all about it, you can just go to thedirtyalchemy.com/MYM, or it's just link in bio. If you have any questions about it, feel free to DM me, and we can go back and forth and see if it is right timing for you and the right program for you. But we go through how to create drill-worthy offers, how to price your work so that you can charge a premium, how to attract amazing clients instead of shitty, fucked up clients. Like, if you've had them, you know what I'm talking about. How to lead sales calls that actually convert, how to do planetary magic so you're supported by these larger forces that can support you in hitting your goals, like more visibility, more clients, more money, stuff like that. And also tons of mindset. And this is stuff that you can do in 60 seconds a day and completely transform your world. We start next week. There are 8 weekly coaching calls with me. So those are live where you can come and tune in. This is the first round of it. So you actually, for those who are joining this week, you get a bonus one-on-one call with me. So a 40-minute call, just me and you, no one else, not a group. So that is a really, really amazing bonus, and I'm excited. And you also get the workbook printed and shipped to you. So snail mail, my favorite mail. So doors open until Friday. Check that out at the link in my bio, and I can't wait to see you on the inside. And tomorrow, back on Instagram Live for the 4th day, the second to last day of this magical business initiation. And tomorrow we are talking about, I'd have to check my notes. You'll see in the Instagram stories what tomorrow's topic is, but I'll see you then. And until then, I will see you in my DMs.